Galaxy A31 replaces last year's Galaxy A30 and A30s. Just when Samsung's Galaxy A lineup started getting good, Samsung seems to have opted for different plans once again with the A31. Welcome to the Galaxy A31 review. If you are new on the channel, please hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon as well. Let's get the specifications of the Galaxy A31 out of the way first. The main highlight here is the phone's big 5000 mAh battery and its 48 megapixels main camera. Remaining specifications are on your screen. I would like to start off with the design and build of this phone. At the very first glance, you can confuse yourself thinking that this is the Galaxy A51. A31 completely resembles the A51, but things are actually not the same. While I completely love the design of this phone, I have some issues with the build. If you check its back, you will clearly feel that this is not the same material grade as the Galaxy A51. The back seems like a very thin plastic sheet covering the phone's body. If you press this phone's back, especially from near the camera, you can clearly feel that there is a hollow space underneath here. So Samsung has definitely treated this phone in a different way. The plastic build of this phone is surrounded by a plastic frame as well, which matches its body's color. It's a lightweight phone, much lighter than Redmi's Note 9 series. This phone has its headphone jack, USB Type-C port, primary mic and speaker grill at the bottom. Volume and power buttons are on the right side, and these buttons have a very soft feedback, not very tactile. On the left side is a SIM card slot which can hold 2 SIM cards and a micro SD card of up to 256 GB. I guess a secondary noise cancellation mic is placed at the top. Moving on to the display, this is something that Samsung has made no compromises on. This is a Full HD Plus Super AMOLED panel. No questions about the display's color quality and visibility. The colors, contrast, saturation, temperature of the scenery looks absolutely on point on this screen. The outdoor visibility is equally good, no viewing angle problems on this screen. What I don't like is the drop notch in the middle of the screen on the top. I am not sure why Samsung hasn't used the same punch hole display here. However, it is what it is now. Bezels on this one are also thin and it's got a notable chin at the bottom. The chin is considerably bigger than the chin of the Galaxy A51. You will get an uninterrupted viewing experience on the screen. Underneath the same display is the phone's fingerprint scanner, which works better than its predecessor. You can further improve this scanner's performance by turning off its battery optimization. On the software end, we get the Samsung One UI 2.1 on this phone running on the top of Android 10. One UI 2.1 has got all of its goodies on this phone. I was unable to find the screen recorder here. Now there is no doubt about the Samsung's UI improving so much over the time that it has now become the favorite UI of Android users. One UI 2.1's animations and on-screen elements look pretty great. Our Galaxy A31 is the 4GB and 128GB variant. This phone is using eMMC 5.1 storage standard. Now it comes with a RAM of 6GB as well. I'll attach the Androbench result here for you guys to get an idea about its read and write performance. Let's talk about the performance now, and this is what actually made me scratch my head. Galaxy A31 is powered by MediaTek Helio P65 12nm chipset. This has happened when the competitors of this phone are using the Snapdragon 720G 8nm or the Kirin 810 7nm chipsets. Now the P65 is further accompanied by Mali G52MC2 GPU. This is the same GPU that powers a MediaTek Helio G80 and 85 on the phones like Redmi Note 9 and the Redmi 9. So you can definitely understand what I am trying to tell you here. At first, I could not run the Antutu benchmark on this handset. I tried this over a dozen times and it failed every single time. But I did watch someone else's Antutu test and the phone posted a score of 150k. Now that phone was a 6GB variant. So I am a little doubtful about the 4GB variant being able to run the Antutu benchmark, and I am pretty disappointed here. I mean, Helio G80 and G85 both post a score of 198k and 205k respectively. If Samsung had to use a MediaTek chipset here, it could have used a better one to say the least. It took a lot of time to conduct the Geekbench test and the results are on your screen. Anyways, I tried PUBG Mobile on this phone and here is your second big disappointment. The graphics look like it's an extremely low res footage and you have zoomed in. Details are poor. graphics to get a bit better in the HD and high mode, but not up to the mark. The game, however, doesn't lag. I was surprised to see the max we get for quad mobile are medium graphics and high frame rate. Now this is a first for a mid-range phone that I have tested so far. Most phones of this range would offer very high settings for both the graphics and frame rates. Call of Duty Mobile also runs smooth on this handset. No problems with that game either except for the poor graphics. The games are absolutely playable and you will like them, but only at the cost of graphics, which will be going south. The phone's temperature management isn't something that you should worry about. There is one bottom firing speaker at the bottom of this phone. The speaker output is also relatively low. Here is a speaker test for all of you. Moving on to the cameras, A31 has got 4 of them at the back. The main sensor is the 48 megapixels camera sensor, which works on the pixel binning mechanism. Before you get too excited about these cameras, let me tell you that this is a Samsung GM2 sensor, but it uses the image processing of the MediaTek Helio P65. So you are not going to get the unsupported camera features here. For instance, the A31 doesn't have 4K video recording. It doesn't have the EIS for the normal 1080p video recording either. EIS works for ultra-wide videos only. The camera app has a very basic pro mode, live focus, dedicated 48 megapixels mode, and the quick video features are available too. A31 doesn't have the night mode, slow motion, and the hyperlapse either. Reason? Well, I can't hate the P65 chipset enough. Samsung has also been stressing upon the greatness of the A31's macro camera. I guess that is because they have nothing else to talk about here. Macro camera of this phone is actually good, but I think it lacks the color quality. Other images taken from the Galaxy A31 look very ordinary, the dynamic range is poor and there is a lack of saturation. I would say that these look like the photos taken on a very low-end phone. Let me know about your thoughts about the camera result of this handset in the comment section below. The good things that Samsung has been talking about regarding this phone include the battery as well. It's using a 5000 mAh battery inside, the biggest for the A series so far. In my battery drain test, it took about 11 hours and 24 minutes for this phone to go from 100 to 0. This phone topped that test. To charge it, we get a 15-watt charger which takes about 2 hours and 54 minutes to charge that whopping battery. This now brings us to the conclusion, and I am going to be very clear about this phone. Samsung is giving you a great display, probably the best display in this budget, but taking away almost everything else. This phone brings an almost useless chipset. Speaker's performance is equally poor. The potential of its camera sensors is locked out because of the rubbish chipset's image processing. Graphics of the games look horrible. The build of this phone should have been a bit better. So just to get a great display, you are going to compromise on almost everything else. Had it been a compromise for something like speakers or just the build, I would have opted or recommended the Galaxy A31 without a second thought. But asking to compromise for the performance is literally absurd. So my suggestion, stay away from the Galaxy A31. Do not pick this phone up, making it the biggest regret of your life. I would suggest picking up the Galaxy A50s from last year. Still a much better phone than the Galaxy A31, or else increase your budget and go with the Galaxy A51. If non-Samsung phones are something that you can use, the Redmi Note 9 Pro fits the same budget too. I am hoping that Samsung doesn't disappoint us with this phone's successor now and fixes all this in near future. Let me know about your thoughts in the comment section below. Please subscribe and hit the like button as well. With that said, I will sign off and see you in the next video.